Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we'll be doing the exercise about the revenue prediction. To start with, we're going to be following a systemic approach to build a machine learning model for revenue prediction, and it's going to consist of following steps. First being data pre-processing, second would be our model selection, then we're going to train and evaluation, finally we're going to publish the results for reporting purposes. So now let's look at the objective behind the revenue prediction. First is analyze the predictions. So this step basically involves making first the predictions, as I mentioned in the first four steps, then predicting the revenue values generated by the model to understand what are the patterns, trends, and potential discrepancies. And in this case, we're going to find prior to our prediction that we have uncovered the customers who are high value customers versus the low value customers. Then we would be analyzing the predictions to help identify the reliability of the model and whether it aligns with the historical performance. The next step is calculate the basic statistics. This step basically refers to computation of fundamental statistics such as mean, median, and also looking at the standard deviation of the predicted values. The next step, that's the very most critical step, that's called as the decision making. This process basically utilizes the insights gained from the revenue prediction to make informed business decisions. So that will allow basically any data scientist, which products to promote, and then whether those strategies can give higher growth revenues to the company. Then also we're going to talk about some of the stuff regarding reporting and visualization. Then we come to the next step, that is our adjust market strategies. Now this step basically involves modifying the marketing tactics based on revenue prediction. We need to do analysis how to optimize the customer engagement, and in one sense we would need other data sets also to make sure we have the conversion rates data. So when we talk about the optimization, we basically talking about the conversion rate optimization for the campaigns, right? So in this case we basically taking the revenue data, but ideally what you would do is based on the predictions, identify the customers who are low value, eliminate those customers, and then create a population of high value customers and then retarget those customers from which you can have resales, or they have a high propensity of buying other products, or you can do cross sales, right? So those are the available options as part of a marketing strategy. Then we talk about resource allocation. This step basically involves um, basically identifying your budgets and doing the revenue outcomes, and also you can have a potential idea of how to optimize the overall strategy, right? And that we're going to talk about in detail. Then finally we're going to have two more steps, a few more steps I would say: performance evaluation, strategy adjustment, um, and uh, and then the steps that are more critical for me to discuss are the customer lifetime value. This basically is basically a process that allows you to identify how much my customer is worth during their lifetime on the platform and how much he's going to spend, right? So that's nothing but your relationship with the customer that defines the customer lifetime value. And how much the customer is going to contribute towards your revenue, that gives the overall value for each customer. Then finally, we come down to revenue forecast. This process is basically a future estimation of a revenue based on historical data. So we're going to calculate some lags, and based on that, we're going to have an idea of predictive analytics to understand how much my revenue is going to be in next 10-year horizon or 15-year horizon. So overall, these concepts are integral to leverage revenue predictions effectively within any business context and enable data-driven decisions and strategy initiatives that your department can expect from you in terms of optimizing their revenues and look for a higher growth. All right, so this is just basically an introduction. The next lecture, we're going to come back and start scooping our data, and then make further progress in terms of doing any kind of imputations in the data, as well as correcting a data set. So stay tuned for next lecture. Thanks for joining. I'm going to see you in the next lecture.